Grab your snacks, hide your show mitts, ditch your reliance, and let's dive into this Big Brother drama with Kinda Unhinged. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another Big Brother video, and we are on episode 23. So we began this episode right after the nomination ceremony, and Mickey immediately confronts Morgan because she knows how close her and Vince are. So she thinks that Morgan either knew about this or had an influence over her being on the block. So she's mad, basically going in on her. And meanwhile, Will is just standing there because they're in the bathroom doing this. And Will is like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And they're arguing. So then we see Ashley, Morgan, and Will discussing Mickey's game and how it's blowing up in her face. And they're kind of almost delighting that she's on the block so they can get rid of her. And Vince knows that Kelly is upset with him because she was already upset with him about voting out Riley. And now he feels like he needs to do some damage control. So he's talking to her and he's saying, whatever she wants to hear. So he says, if I win the veto, then I'll take you down. And she's like, really? He's like, yeah. And then in her diary room, she's like, I know he's just telling me that. Like, I don't trust him. I don't believe him anymore. And I'm like, good, because you need to leave him in the dust. And Catherine is starting to see the writings on the wall. She's like, I mean, there's only a couple options for him to choose as a renom, and he's kind of scared, so he's probably not going to pick Rachel, so he'll more than likely pick me. Then we see Vince talking to Mickey, and he's also trying to do damage control with her, and he's telling her what she wants to hear. And then she pulls his move on him, and she starts crying. Crying. I'm telling you, these people need to do a crossover with a soap opera or something. The amount of tears I have seen this year is insane. But anyway, she starts crying, and then he tells her, well, if I win the veto, then I'll use it on you and take you off. Vince is a chronic people pleaser. It's gotta stop. So then Keanu and Vince are talking, and Keanu's like, well, if I play in the veto and I win, like, would you be okay if I used it on Kelly? And Vince is like, yeah, sure, why not? But in the back of his mind, he's like, I don't want you to use it on her. I don't want to have to put up a fourth nominee. But Keanu wants Rachel to be backdoored, so he wants someone to come off the block. So in the event of a renom, Morgan is asking Vince not to put up Rachel because she wants to keep the judges' alliance intact. And she's giving him all the reasons why he shouldn't do it. And he's starting to think that maybe she's right. So then we get to the veto comp, and it's called Wine to Die For. So in this competition, they have 2 glasses of wine. One glass has poison in it and the other one doesn't. And your objective is to get the other player to drink the poison wine. And if a person drinks poison twice, then they die and they're eliminated from the game. So Ava was the first person to be eliminated from this competition, followed by Will. So then in the third round, Vince tries to target Mickey because he doesn't want her to win this competition. So he comes out and he's like, who wants to try a glass of wine? And Keanu's like, oh, I will. And Vince is like, what the heck? Like, I'm trying to get her out of the game. Why would you say that? Now it's going to look awkward if I go to her after you said that you wanted it. And Keanu was thinking, oh, well, I don't want him because at that point, Keanu, Kelly, and Mickey were still in the game. So Keanu didn't want the other players to think that he was targeting Mickey over Kelly when that's exactly what he was doing. But now you put a spotlight on it. So Vince had to go over to Keanu after that. And he eliminated Keanu in that round. So now we're down to Vince, Kelly, and Mickey. And then Kelly is next to be eliminated. So now we're down to Vince and Mickey. And Vince could not convince Mickey to drink the poison, and he poisoned himself and he was out of the game. And Mickey won the power of veto, which was the worst case scenario for everyone in the house. So after the veto, Morgan, Rachel, and Mickey are all in the storage room and they're all celebrating Mickey's win. However, Rachel and Morgan aren't really happy that she won, but they're just pretending. So then in the HOH room, Lauren, Morgan, and Vince are talking, and Lauren and Morgan are both trying to convince Vince to do what they want him to do. So Lauren wants him to put up Rachel as a renom, Morgan wants him to put up Catherine as a renom. And at one point, Lauren was like, yeah, Morgan's trying to make Rachel seem like she's so scary so that Vince won't put her up. And I'm thinking, Lauren, you were scared to death last week. Stop playing. You were so scared. This was her last week. Lauren, stop. Stop. So then Vince tells Rachel that Keanu says that he would never take the shot at Rachel, but if he did, he'd be fine with that. And Rachel's like, oh, really? And Rachel immediately goes and confronts Keanu about it. And Keanu, I mean, his acting is trash. You need to take some lessons from Vince and Mickey. But anyway, he was like, what? He said, what? Why would I say that? So of course, Rachel knew this man was lying. So then Keanu goes and tells Vince about it. And Vince is like, wow, I was trying to trust her. And then she immediately goes and runs to Keanu about the information that I told her. Then they were celebrating Lauren's birthday and somebody suggested, oh, let's say nice things about each other. And while Catherine was saying nice things about Vince, Rachel was like, can I have some more wine? Because, Rachel's like, this is a little ridiculous. Like, y'all are playing too nice. I'm not used to this type of big brother. Well, after she goes outside, Kelly makes the comment like, oh, did you see that Rachel drank all the red wine while Catherine was saying nice things about Vince? Like, trying to plant the seed that, like, Rachel was mad that Catherine was saying nice things about Vince. Rachel was annoyed that all of y'all were sitting up there kumbayaing. So, yeah. So, of course, that set Rachel off. So, Rachel's mad. So then they were outside hanging out, and Rachel was being kind of cold to Kelly. And at one point, Kelly leaned in to give Rachel a hug, and Rachel was like, no, I'm good. And Kelly's like, what? You don't want a hug from me, or you don't want a hug? And Rachel's like, I don't want a hug. And Kelly can't figure out what's going on. So she goes up to the HOH room and cries. And I think that this is a common theme with Kelly. Like, she says a lot of stuff that gets her in trouble. I don't know if she realizes that she's doing that or not. I kind of think that's just her personality. So, of course, Rachel is very angry with Kelly and Keanu, and Morgan knows that. So she goes and tells Vince, since Vince is afraid that Rachel's targeting him. So she lets him know, well, she's targeting Kelly and Keanu. She's not even worried about you. So Vince is like, okay, that's good to hear. So right before the veto ceremony, Rachel knows that Vince listens to whoever talks to him last. So she wants to be the last person to talk to him. So she goes up to his room and she's talking to him, and he confronts her about her running and telling Keanu what he told her. And she apologizes for that, and she's trying to build some trust with him. And then Keanu comes up there, and Rachel's like, I'm still talking to him, so you have to wait. Well, I guess Keanu was getting impatient, so he comes back and he's like, I just need 2 minutes with him. And she's like, no. So then they start arguing over who's going to talk to Vince. And Vince is like, okay, well, we're all going downstairs anyway. And so they were going out of the room, and Keanu's telling Rachel, like, you go ahead and go. And she's like, no, you go. And he's like, no, you go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not that serious. Just going downstairs. He's gonna do what he's gonna do. And that's what she does. And Keanu's so annoyed. He's like, come on. And Keanu tells Vince, just do what you want to do. Just, use your gut. Do what you want to do. So we get to the veto ceremony, and Mickey says she's going to use the veto on herself, of course. And then Vince gets up and he puts Catherine up as a renom. So you guys let me know what y'all thought about this episode in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more Big Brother content like this, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please hit the like.
Flirters, you better grab a life vest. Kristen.